Hello, hello, my dear friends, you've reached Elena's bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. She'll help improve your fitness, but there's also so much more. 'Cause here are just a few things that this channel has in store. There's bar and there's Pilates and there's belly dancing too. And many styles of yoga, so I'm sure there's one for you. Then watch her practice pianist string from right within her home. She's in such peak condition, she'll outrun the metronome. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. They're the best place on the internet, the very best by far. It's not just the piano, but the ukulele too. The guitar and violin are even more that she can do. She does so many different things, it's hard not to lose track. I nearly didn't mention that she posts on her Substack. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. Yet controversial topics may be brought up for discussion, but try not to provoke her or she'll swear at you in Russian. And sometimes certain topics can make quite a big impression. So remember, you take part at your own risk and your discretion. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. You might even meet Elena if you're quite a loyal fan. She's got a fixed male cat, but she's so desperate for a man. We've really got it all, then you couldn't ask for more. So sit right back and watch Elena shave a 3 or 4. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far.
Hello, hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Elena's Bar and the Resurgence of Sanity. How are you doing, guys?
Good.
Good. Good to see you. Yeah, today we have an interesting topic. It's kind of based on the topics that we've been elaborating for the past few weeks, I would say, especially the recent article that I wrote about security. And then I prepared a couple of formulas that I want you guys to look at. And I know that Steve left me a comment saying that SFH doesn't map directly to SKM. That one we will talk about, okay? Anyway, guys, if you haven't read that article, please go read it. Tell us what you think about it, especially women. Tell us what gives you the sense of security in the relationship. And remember that you are participating in this discussion at your own risk and discretion, especially this applies to women. If you don't want to be mentally challenged, maybe you just skip the video and go do the crazy thing that you are doing, okay? Anyway, guys.
Okay, I need to add something here.
Go.
Your trigger warning applies even more so to this stream, because we are going to plow some virgin territory. Mm-hmm. What do I mean by that? Well, it's like the way the U.S. was settled. When we moved west, the farmers moved in and plowed ground that had never been plowed before. They uncovered things, well, dirt. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about dirt here, but we're going to some things that have not been really discussed before. And I'm going to have to reveal some personal details, some personal experiences as to how I arrived at these conclusions. We think that men think and then arrive at conclusions. And women just, I've said this before, women just experience and then form conclusions. Well, yeah, kind of true. But I've experienced things, observed things, actions of people and women. And then afterwards, gee, That just doesn't make sense. So then I have to think about it and what's really going on there. So that's how I come up with my stuff. I reflect, I think about it, but I process through my experiences and observations of others, and then have to form a concept of that. Okay, it's the way engineer's mind works. And believe it or not, a lot of the red pill is there because of men with engineers' minds. A few of the pickup artist guys were actually trained as engineers. So they understand the process and then what makes things work, and then they proposed it. So you can listen to psychologists. They have certain skills that I don't have, but I have a certain approach to things that they don't have. So I throw out a theory. Okay, you know what? Take pot shots at it. I don't care. If you can refine it, great. Then we'll get closer to the truth. So this episode probably is going to get a little bit detailed. I'm going to have to reveal some detailed personal information. I don't think it's that bad, but you're free to judge me if you want.
Well, you're too old to care anymore?
I mean, if I ever find a woman that I'm think is worth pursuing, she's going to have to know these things. If the world knows these things, okay, whatever. You know what? My shit is not as bad as a lot of other people's. So, feel free. Just because I'm talking about it doesn't mean that I'm.
No, it's actually good that you are sharing this experience with younger men in particular, because and unique too, because how else would young men learn when they don't have good role models in front of them?
They can learn by getting the experience and processing through it.
Yeah.
Or I can tell them about my experience, and so they can walk in and understand. Yeah, okay, in this case, he made the right decision. Oh, well, I guess most of these, I think I made the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, what happens if you make... Oh, it's a simple decision. You have opportunities. Comes down to this. Do you bed her or do you not bed her? And most of these experiences come from when I chose not to. So you can still learn a lot about women when you choose not to.
Not to.
When the opportunity is presented right there to you, you don't have to take it.
Well, exactly. And this is what we've been trying to tell men, that men don't actually need sex. They want it, but they don't need it. Because the moment they assume this female falsification bubble that women are trying to sell, that, gentlemen, you need us, right? You need this thing that we have, the only thing that we have to offer. Right? And men become slaves. They are operating under her frame. She is controlling. She's in charge. She can manipulate him into doing whatever she wants him to do, because he is operating under this scarcity mindset that if he doesn't do all of those things, then she's not going to put out, right?
Right. So what's our theme for today?
Well, today I'm trying to actually summarize, and I wanted to ask you guys how you want to do it, because all of this seem to be like very deep topics, and I'm trying to get at what women are looking for in a relationship, what women want to feel, okay, in a relationship. So they want to feel secure, they want to feel sexually desired, right? And then they want to be loved. This is based on what you told me, Steve.
Right.
And
I think
Not
that's
what
true.
they say, but this is what they actually want.
this is what they actually
Correct.
want. Yeah.
Right? Not what
Yeah.
they say. That's
Mhm.
a whole nother thing.
Yeah, and then a man, how would men treat a woman? So they would spank a woman. This would actually give
That's the
you.
thing. That's the thing that she wants to talk about today.
I
There you
really,
go.
really want to talk about it because I did write an article about it. And ladies, if you actually are willing to challenge your beliefs, okay, despite all of the feminist efforts to convince you otherwise, if you say, okay, feminism no longer works, what's going on there, go read that article and don't take it personally, please, okay? We are just trying to figure out the truth there. And look, spanking is the necessary part of feeling security.
Okay.
And this is
You're,
what
you're
I'm talking about
backing
in
it.
that
You're
article.
backing into this one.
Yeah,
A title today is What Makes Women Feel Secure.
yeah.
Okay, your answer is spanking.
Well, it's not just
Okay.
spanking, but
No, it's
part of
not
it.
just. Okay, but we're gonna say, man, this makes no sense. Okay, and I thought that way. But yet, my experience tells me, yeah, women actually desire that. Why the hell do they desire this? Makes no sense. Okay, so let's boil it down. What makes a woman feel secure? It's restraint.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about the aspects of that. We're not talking about heavy core BDSM or all that kind of stuff. But yeah, okay. We're
Yeah,
talking
and
about
just
this
say-
dynamic.
And just to be clear, I hate saying that phrase. I hate whatever. But no, we're not saying go beat a woman.
Yes.
No.
No.
Oh, you can spank her a little bit.
Okay, yes. Okay,
That's different.
that brings up the point. We're talking about it from a what works perspective and what the female wants perspective, not from the male gets to control her perspective. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not about what the man wants to do. It's about what the woman needs and how she desires certain things that, gee, this doesn't really make sense. And I'll explain how I figured out how does this make sense.
Yeah, because you are the one who actually came up with these acronyms. And okay, so
Hey.
we are just going to focus on the first part. Let me show the formula to guys just to give them the idea, and then we will go back into this topic. We will target each element individually because I think it's a broad topic, and I want you guys to have the full agenda of where we are going, and then we will break it apart. Okay, and then you can correct the formula too, guys. Okay, I'll just quickly share it with you. So I came up with actually two formulas that I united into one, but let me share this one first. Okay. So what women want to feel is they want to feel secure, they want to feel sexually desired, and they want to feel loved. Okay, let me remove here. I need to remove that. How do I do that? Gosh, it's been a while since I had to do it. Okay, for now. Okay, so that you can read it. So, what did men traditionally do? I'm kind of linking it to traditional treatment that women received from men versus the modern treatment, right? The feminist treatment. Okay, so traditionally, a man would apply restraint, discipline, correction. They would spank a woman, right, when necessary, in a good way, right, because she needs it. then they would maintain frame, impose standards, boundaries, consequences on her. They would regulate her emotions to prevent her from emotional spiraling. And then, of course, the traditional duties of a man that feminists always remind men of is financial and physical protection that all women want that. And then, of course, execute upon his natural authority over her. But this is deemed, the restraint, discipline, correction, spanking, even to some extent, they are all deemed illegal today. So a man can get into a lot of trouble. And then because women are the followers, you can see the arrows here. This leads, it's not a guarantee, but if we were in a patriarchal social order, this would lead us to her having a healthy amount of fear towards her man, executing upon his natural authority and imposing boundaries and consequences on her, right? And she would even serve him as a helpmate, just like God designed. Is it likely to happen in a matriarchy, in gynocentric social order? Well, I don't know, guys. You Steve, both of you have been falsely accused of doing things, or not doing things. It doesn't matter, really.
It does matter. Okay.
I mean, the result, like whether you do it or not, she can still falsely accuse you of things. Let me remove this one for now.
None. Okay. Okay. Here comes the first personal detail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got to bring us back to the other screen.
Okay, hold on. Let me remove this one. Okay.
So, my second wife, she came from, well, it took a long time for us to get married because she was in Canada. We had a few years where we were conversing online. So we had to share a lot of things. So, yeah, she liked to be spanked. Okay, I spanked her. Not out of punishment, out of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was playful. Yeah, it aroused her. Okay, great. We had some fun times. And then, okay, well, she got more serious about her religion since it was a second marriage for both of us, and we were Catholic. She decided she wanted to go to a brother-sister type arrangement where we didn't have sex. Okay. Once that happened, okay, the sexual act is an act of dominance.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, okay, she understood the concept and loved the concept of consensual non-consent. Okay, so there was a little game where she would struggle. Oh, okay, fully agreed. She would struggle and I would overcome and have my way. And hey, that worked. You know what? When we stopped doing that, then she started to disrespect me and eventually develop contempt for me.
Mm-hmm.
When she accused me of talking to her daughter and having some desires for her daughter, yeah, that's bullshit. But she never accused me of any of the things I actually did to her. So you got to take that as a data point.
Mm.
If you are dominant enough to give her what she wants, including, playful spanking, a little bit of restraint activities, whatnot, and she wanted that, and she's not guilty about any of those things, she's not going to accuse you of that in the future. The contrary thing is, if you don't do that, she will likely invent the fear of you doing that and accuse you of creating that fear. But if she's experienced doing that and it didn't trigger the fear, then she doesn't have any guilt and she doesn't have to project a false claim on you. So my conclusion is actually being physically dominant with a woman who wants it, accepts it, and it's agreed upon is not dangerous. Or, I mean, it's not, there's no guarantees here, guys.
Yeah,
But
we are talking
you are
probabilities.
in actually, I think you're in greater danger by not doing it than doing it.
Because she does not feel protected or dominated, but not in a like really harmful way, right? Not in a she doesn't feel that she is taken care of emotionally. Women want to feel that restraint. They want to be in their place, but secure, yet sort of not, but really are. They want to have that weird fantasy thing. You know, there's a
Okay.
reason why 50 Shades of Grey is such a big bestseller. It's a terrible book. I know it's trash, but it does tell you how demented the female mind can be.
No. It's not demented. It's how
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, and how
Okay,
it's,
just
no,
it's
accept.
nature.
no, it's twisted nature.
Ah.
No, it's not twisted nature.
Okay, Nick, I'm
No,
curious.
it is.
Why do you think it's twisted nature?
This is women's feelings in a state of sin without restraint. So this is them given over to their more animalistic emotional nature versus still having that nature where they want to be dominated, but it still has a certain amount of restraint and it's not totally given over.
So, are you saying that
Okay.
gray? In guys, are you familiar? I'm asking the audience with the 50 Shades of Grey. We are talking about this movie and the relevant, the related book. So he didn't restrain her enough. Like, I mean, like your animalistic instincts and everything that Nick just described. Didn't he restrain her?
Well, okay, this Nick and I seem opposed, but I think I agree with him. But I have a different take. Women desire restraint. And because she knows, okay, remember, as a man, okay, what is your cycle? What? I don't have a cycle. I'm just horny all the time. Or, yeah, I can take it or leave it. And, it's kind of, I go through the month this way. A woman does not experience that. She has her cycle. And, sometimes estrogen is more dominant. We got that. Oh, she's having her period or PMS. Her emotion, her hormones drive her emotions. She does not go through the month in a steady state condition. So she knows that she gets a little bit erratic or a little bit weepy or teary or whatever when, that time of the month comes along. So on one hand, she will claim that she can be in the workforce and do a competent job all week, all month long. Yes, she can be a judge and render the same judgments regardless of where she's at in her cycle. But other women, when something goes wrong, they say, "Oh, I was PMSing." Or it was that time of the month, which you're supposed to use as, "Oh, okay, that's an excuse." So they say both, but their emotions are so erratic at times that they cannot control it. So they kind of want some external controls to to give them a protective boundary. So women actually view restraint in a philosophical way as security because it bounds her from her erratic emotions. Does that make any sense, Elena?
Yeah, it does. I 100% agree with you. I was just curious in regards to that 50 Shades of Grey, because you guys started it, okay? I blame you. I blame you for bringing it up. I'm just curious in terms of their intersexual dynamics, because they broke apart in the end. She didn't want that kind of relationship anymore. So he was sexually restraining her. Am I right? I mean, obviously she was sexually satisfied with him that she...
I don't think it was primarily about sex. Okay, it comes out in the sexual way.
Yeah.
But she didn't experience enough restraint in
this
her
is what
life.
Yeah.
So she wanted restraint. And how is that come out? It comes out in a natural way, your sexual desires and what you want to do. Now, I mentioned this to Nick a while ago, and he agreed that when you're celibate or not with a woman, your fantasies or expectations can kind of get more extreme. I would imagine that's true for women too. When you're not expressing something, your imagination is very imaginative at times. And when a woman is not experiencing the security and restraint, how is she going to achieve that? Well, how does women achieve anything? How does a woman get a husband? Oh, she looks attractive.
The mask she
wears skimpier clothes to reveal her body to attract a man. How does she control a man? By giving sex or withholding sex. Women, use sex to get control and to also satisfy themselves. So the fact that this desire for restraint, this unconscious need for restraint, is exhibited in a sexual arena, hey, it's just a feature of women. I don't see it as a big flaw. How it's expressed might be sinful, as Nick says. It's not in the proper way, but the underlying desire, it's just natural.
Okay, so what in your mind, what kind of restraint was Anna, or what was her name, the character's name, looking for in that relationship with Gray? Because if sex wasn't if sex wasn't enough for her, the sexual restraint that she got wasn't enough for her, what else, what other type of restraint was she looking for in the relationship?
You know, I don't know if I ever watched that movie from the beginning. I do remember the movie Secretary.
Okay.
Did you ever watch that one?
No, I don't think so. I need to put it on my list of Secretary.
That happened before 50 Shades.
I haven't even read the book. I just look at summaries online.
Okay.
Okay, here.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched 50 Shades.
So I watched it long time ago.
I did watch the movie Secretary.
Okay. Well, tell me, based on Secretary, I think the plot might be similar, right?
I think it is similar. So this kind of quiet, mousy, but attractive, dressed very modestly, very covered up, starts working in this attorney's office. She's timid and all that. And she's not blossomed at all. She doesn't really have a personality that is outgoing. So she's obviously looking for something, and he starts to exhibit some boss control over her, telling her what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets a little bit kinky. And he does spank her. One of the first scenes in there. And she responds to that. Someone sees me as a sexual being. And he's providing some, he's paying attention to me. And yeah, there's some aspect of constraint. So then she kind of, her personality comes out, and they form this whole interplay dynamic. Now, you think it's all him dominating her, but it's her, the way she responds. It's there's a back and forth there. And then as the movie progresses, through the various scenes and whatnot, at the end, you can see she just relishes the role, and she's actually glowing and more secure as a person. And there are scenes in there that show her insecurities kind of being addressed, dare I say, healed by his dominance of her. And it turns into a love story at the end. But a kinky love story.
So how did they marry, or how did the story end? Did they separate?
I don't. Okay, for the majority of the movie until like the very end, they did not have penetrative sex. Then at the end, they do. And it doesn't show them marrying, but it implies there's a long-term LTR.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think this is all about sex. Most of this stuff, it's sexual. But it's not about penetrative sex. So there's something else here. What is that? Why do women desire this? Okay, you just accept that they do.
Yeah, it's interesting. There was another older movie, guys. You just reminded me of that movie, Steve, by talking about the secretary movie. It's Another 9.5 Weeks. It's called Another 9.5 Weeks. I watched it long time ago. It's from the 1997. So from the 90s era. And the guy was dating with a woman, and then basically he was like twisting her in all sorts of pretzels, and like she really enjoyed it, but then she wanted more. And it looks like in the end they just broke up because she didn't get what she wanted. And I'm just curious, because I don't think sex is enough for women in terms of restraint and
No, it's not.
I'm gonna share something. I'm gonna share
What's
something
that,
kind
Nick?
of funny.
Oh,
I'll
go
share
for it.
something kind of funny. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I gotta pull it up. Come on. Okay. And I go to studio, share screen.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find it. Trying to find it. Hold on. Oh, there it is. It's under Google search. So I gotta do that. The window, Chrome tab, Google search. Where's the Google search? Right there. Can y'all see that?
Yep. Oh,
Steve.
Steve, where are you? This is right about his Ellie. I remember that live stream that you guys did a while ago about advertising, old advertising, where we were analyzing how it changed, and men
Yeah.
were spanking the women.
Well, okay. Was that controversial when it came out? Was that
I don't
scene
know.
controversial?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so. Yeah,
It
was part
wasn't.
of life. It was part of life. This is how men were treating their women back then. Okay,
And
the retcons. Okay, everyone wants to return to the 1950s, right? Or before the big boom, before all of the craziness started, like they say. But like, okay, if you want to bring back this kind of treatment that women were getting from men, because they only want to see like, oh, like the family without changing the social order, the existing social order that we have right now. They want the aesthetics of the 1950s, but they don't actually want to bring the beauties
no.
and like that.
Yeah, kinda, but no.
Oh, okay.
The tradcons try to deny this aspect. But yet, and the feminists try to deny this, but yet they're kink positive. In other words, oh yeah, let your freak flag fly. Whatever's consensual, you can do. And, they dabble in these, whatever. Okay, back in the 50s, oh, yeah, okay. Shows John Wayne spanking a woman. And, oh, okay, well, did she file charges against him afterwards? No, she settled down and, yeah, okay. Kind of the story implies that she, after the fact, she liked it. Oh, how far back does this go? Gee, isn't there that Shakespeare play, Taming of the Shrew?
Yeah.
Did Kate, was she a happier person after she was tamed?
Yes.
This theme seems to be kind of part of human existence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, women want to be tamed, whether they admit it or not. Ladies, you can disagree, you can dislike it as much as you like, as you
So,
want,
so,
but it's
so
unavoidable.
what women really need is against the law.
Exactly. So let's go back to that formula, guys. Okay. Thank you, Nick, for bringing us back. I'm going to show it again. We are going to look at it. Okay. And hold on here. Let me remove this one for a second so we can see it. So yeah, if she gets that kind of restraint from a man, she is going to have more respect for him. She is going to enjoy serving him, actually being in her place, right? Being put into her place by her man. And then a sexual desirability, this is what we were just talking about. So he could be physically restraining her. And here the idea, guys, that I wanted to talk to you about is when men operate under the mindset that they don't need sex, but they want sex and they take it whenever they want it. Instead of like, oh, I need it, and then their need drives everything that they do. It's not on the same level. They have the sexual desire for her, right? But it's not like on the same level as they need food to survive. This is something I talked to my husband about. Sex is not on the same level. So therefore, it's not a need. it's a desire.
It is a need and it is a desire, but to be ruled by it isn't another thing. If he doesn't get it, eventually she's going to leave him or he's going to leave her, or they'll both be miserable together.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and then if men flip the script and behave in a way that she starts begging for sexual proximity, and she will be more interested in having sex with him, I think it's actually a healthier intersexual dynamics when a man doesn't give into it and she wants it, you know, versus him begging for it, and then she will be playing him, she will be running all sorts of emotional manipulations to negotiate that genuine burning desire, and he won't even succeed because it's the wrong kind of mindset, if you will, when he's operating under the slave mentality where she's in charge and he needs it, and then he just begs for it, you know.
So here's what happens. Okay, this is a story from my first marriage. I had the call it the egalitarian mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I was clearly not in charge. I had the nice guy mentality. If I'm nice enough to her,
Mm-hmm.
I will be loved and this will work out. Okay, so she had no restraint. Okay, there's other issues here. Okay, this is not a one aspect. But she would yell at me and she would get physical with me. I didn't understand that. So when she escalated, I escalated. And it got physical. Both sides. But my physicality is actually stronger than hers. So when I used that, oh man, bad. That was bad and that hurt. And okay, nothing came of that. But a man, if he's pushed, eventually every man has his breaking point. She found mine. So after that, okay, that incident, yeah, the marriage continued. She didn't change, but I never got physical again. And she beat the crap out of me.
That's interesting.
And yet she complained later on that she was in fear of me as she was beating the crap out of me.
okay. Steve, I had the same thing. Same thing.
So,
She was in
okay,
fear of herself while she was beating me.
So I learned to control myself, but I didn't control her. So therefore she was afraid. Now, at that point, there was absolutely nothing I could have done, no other course of action. So what I'm saying, okay, what I learned is restrain a woman early. And
Yeah.
okay, spank her early in the relationship. And then she has the experience of that. Okay, not meanly, not in anger, in fun.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
She knows her place. Yeah,
but it's not even about that. You don't even have to do that. You don't have to have any intent. You spank a woman, she gets aroused. It's a fact.
Well, it's you showing your dominance, and what do women do when they see a dominant masculine man who, you know, doesn't take their shit? They get wet. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
So okay, now you can, if you're two young men who've not experienced this, you can think I'm nuts, but I'm telling you, it exists. You can go through life and eventually you might figure it out by the time you're an old man, like me. but then it's almost too late to use it.
Yeah.
And you may say women shouldn't be this way. Well, okay,
Well, they are what they
yeah,
are.
they
Good
are
luck.
what they are. You have to love them for who they are, and that requires you to take the dominant role in a benevolent way. Now, should you hurt a woman?
No. Well, harm, no.
Harm,
no.
yeah, harm versus
Yeah,
hurt. Yeah.
Yes, you should hurt a woman.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me explain this. She's going to trot out, oh, you hurt my feelings. You shouldn't have done that. Bullshit. I'm going to go by principles. And if I feel something, and if it hurts your feelings, I don't care. I'm still going to say it. Now, let's do an analogy. Think of this analogy. You have a young child, but 4 or 5 years old. You're walking down the sidewalk, and this child is kind of out of sorts, throwing a mini tantrum, and separates from you when you get to the crosswalk, pulls out of your hand and darts into the street. And a car's coming along, screeches to a stop. Child's dead in front of that car, could have gotten run over, potentially killed. What do? You grab that child, you bring it back and say, no, I'm upset with you. And you give that child a sound spanking. Oh, you hurt the child. Okay, now that child learns, don't do that because you'll get hurt.
Yes.
So you hurt the child, provided discipline, boundaries, but the intent was to prevent the child from getting harmed. And that sometimes those boundaries are physical. So, could you have done a sweet talk? Oh, child, you shouldn't do that. You have me all worried about
gentle
that.
parenting.
Don't do the gentle parenting approach. Or, no, you do that again, this is going to happen to you again. I'm not putting up with this shit. Okay, now, which is the loving approach?
Nick, you were saying something.
Just look, you deal with the situation. It's actually to prevent harm that you cause hurt. Whether it's just, you're not harming them through spanking, but you're administering discipline. You might hurt their feelings with the right words you say, but you're not actually harming them. Oh, but according to the state, all that's some sort of, abuse, right? But actually, that child would actually be worse off if you did nothing. Child might be dead.
Yeah, without hurting their feelings, you are harming them. You are harming them.
I'm not directly equating women to children, but there are certain analogies here. If you are Christian and you believe in the hierarchical model, the man is in charge. He has the authority over his children and his wife. And so, what's that Bible verse, Nick? Man is the glory of God, and woman is the glory of man.
1 Corinthians 11.
That's why a man worships with his head uncovered, and a woman worships with her head covered. This says there is a hierarchy. So, is the man responsible to the woman? Yeah, in certain ways, but primarily his responsibility is to God. Is the woman responsible to God? Yeah, kind of, but her primary responsibility is to her husband and then up through God to God. So, does that give her the ability to say, well, I don't feel right about doing that. I think you're wrong. I'm not going to follow your lead. Sorry, no. Your first obligation is to follow your boss, follow your leader, follow in the hierarchy, just like you do at work.
Yeah.
Yes, there are restrictions on what your boss can tell you to do.
Well, and
But they
see,
come from outside.
okay,
Just
guys.
like there's restrictions in what your husband can force you to do, they come from God. And if you follow him and he gives you an illegal order and you follow it, the responsibility is still on him.
Exactly. This dynamics with your boss, it's legal. This is why we see so many, like in that movie Secretary that you've mentioned, or when a woman starts working for the corporation and she starts cheating on some guy, you know, who is higher up the hierarchical chain over here, and it makes total sense. It's just somehow we see this it's okay, Nick,
Okay.
it's like the wrong
So-
kind of the wrong the same hierarchy that is supposed to be in the family. We see it with boss employee dynamic.
Okay, so how many women, good Christian women,
Mhm.
will tell their husband, this, and this, I'm not going to do because I don't want you getting any ideas. Okay, maybe they're kinky things, maybe whatever. But it's her feelings that they're sinful, not the actual fact that they're sinful. But she has to warn him, you can't do that. Now, how many of these same women will go to their boss and say, well, I'll do everything you say, except if you call me into your office and tell me to strip naked, I'm not going to do it. They don't have to tell their boss that because they know it's not going to happen. So why the hell do they have to put these preliminary restraints on their husband to prevent him from doing something that
Well, Steve, it's
probably
because
not inclined to do
okay.
anyway?
I think I have the answer, but let's elaborate on it. I think that if their boss demanded them to do it, like, and he was playing the game and everything, right? They would do it for their boss because
Maybe.
of the hierarchy. Maybe. Well, there is a pretty high chance
Probably
that
somewhat.
much higher than her restraining her husband and playing him, right? Like she would have a much higher chance of having sex with her boss at work rather than having sex with your husband.
No, she's not
Maybe
aroused
because
by
he
her husband.
actually has authority over her.
Exactly, because
Right.
of that hierarchy, you know, in the workforce, in the workplace that she's following. So she's still aligning herself with that
Hey,
hierarchy.
nature comes
at
out
work.
somewhere where it's denied. Where nature's denied in one place, it will come out in another.
In
We've said
another
this
place.
over and over again.
Exactly. Yeah.
So here's another aspect of restraint. If you're strong enough and dominant enough to physically restrain and or spank a woman and basically handle her, she gets the belief you're strong enough to handle external threats to protect her.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not strong enough to handle her, how the hell are you going to be strong enough to protect her from outside bigger threats? Now, this is unconscious. It comes out in her feelings. It's not a conscious thought. But if you can't handle her, how can you handle the world? How can she trust you to keep her safe in the wider world if you can't even handle her little self and you're bigger than her? You're just a puss. Why should she respect a puss that she can dominate and you weigh 1.5 times her? But you're ineffective against her. Okay. Yeah, she's going to trust you.
No, she's going to feel very insecure. Okay, let me share with you another formula that I came up with because we just talked about the traditional duties in a patriarchal order, let's say, that are deemed illegal today. So, gentlemen, if you want to try it, you are doing it at your own risk and discretion, right? There are higher chances, but we are still talking about probabilities here.
There might be higher chances of you being under false accusations and getting more effed than, just being understanding women's nature and properly applying them, not to actually harm them, though.
Yeah. So let's watch this one. Okay, this is the formula based on our current social order, gynocentrism. Let's see here. Okay, it leads us to insecurity. This is what Steve was talking about. And when a man fulfills his
I
feminist,
like this one, Elena. I like this one. You need to
you
say
like this one? Yes, this is a funny one. It took me a while yesterday, guys, to come up with these formulas for you. And I'm going to share them on my Instagram and everywhere else. I just wanted to run them by you guys first. If you want some corrections, let me know, okay? If I need to improve something here or change something. So, according to the feminist male duties, be your emotional tampon, be your servant leader, equal junior partner here, Steve's favorite, right? And then give
Yep.
your princess treatment she believes she deserves, be Mr. Nice Guy, right? And give up your frame, your natural authority, so be her slave. Provide that emotional, spiritual support, how feminists view it. Absolve her of any consequences for her choices. Be her walking ATM. This leads us to like financial protection that women want. Oh, and I forgot to include the physical protection here. Oh, and then provide this female hypogamy insurance that we talked about a while ago, money muscles game, just to satisfy her. And then what kind of attitude it leads us to, because women are followers, right? They are going to follow whatever men do. Well, contempt towards her man. She disrespects him, walks over him, right? She's out of her place. She corrects and humiliates him publicly and also in person. She's a team woman. Okay, she complains on him. She wants to unalive him and destroy him. And this is what we see happens in the divorce court, right? How do women treat their husbands that they disrespect and they don't have any desire for? Okay, then look here, feminist BS, right? She's if a man lets her to chop play him, manipulate him, if he lets her to negotiate her burning desire for him, if he begs her for sex in the mindset that he needs it as a need, like on the same level as food, he can't survive without it, right? If he doesn't apply any touch or any physical proximity, any physical restraint when necessary, if he buys her expensive gift trips, if he spoils her because she's a prize, right? She's the prize. Then, be quiet. Sorry, guys. Okay. Then what will she do? She will restrain sex from him. She will chop play him. She will cheat on him. She will be also a public whore. This is one of the things. I actually talked about it to my mother, and she said that, a lot of these women who don't get fucked by their husbands at home, they will look for that kind of attention from men elsewhere. They want to be sexually desired by nature. And this is what we looked at earlier in that other formula. And if they don't get it from their husbands, they will go and look for it elsewhere. So we will see a lot of public whores on social media. Even if they are married, they still don't get enough restraint. She exposes herself semi-naked on social media. She leaves him and destroys him. She falsely accuses him of those feelings. We could add here that, or fear of him doing those things, right, Steve? And
Sure.
then it's higher risk of divorce. And then what does it leave us with? Oh, it's hate all men, men bad, can't do anything for the benefit of a man, men must always pay, all of this feminist crap that has been brainwashing women. Men must be ruined, get more power and control over men through the institutions. Use laws and institutions against men. This is deemed legal, by the way, guys. This is like, well, okay, well, this kind of attitude. If you give a woman this treatment, it will be legal, but you will be destroyed.
Okay. Now, we can come back to this, but why don't you put us back to the other one? I got to tell you a couple more stories here.
Okay. Do you want me to go back to that previous one?
No.
Okay. Just remove it. Okay.
Faces.
To our faces. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my second wife, she was a pretty good wife. I think it was IPA guilt that triggered things. So anyway, she was red pilled. She understood this Catholic Christian mindset, man's the head. So there was one incident where we were alone together. I was horny, and she was reluctantly willing. So I had my way. She was crying the whole time. We talked about it afterwards. She didn't want to. She didn't want it. It happened. Was she mad? No, not in the least. It's like, okay, no big deal. Was she consenting at the time? No. Did she later accuse me of anything because of that? No. When women are invested and the man is dominant, these things actually happen. Okay, should I have done it? Yeah, you can argue that I shouldn't have. But it revealed something to me that, okay, really, if a man owns his wife's body and she owns his, yes, he's completely within his rights. Christian was.
Mm-hmm.
Illegal? Yeah, okay. At the time, she wasn't consenting, and I will agree to that. Now, is it legal or illegal to spank a woman? It is legal.
Okay.
Because this exists in the BDSM community. When she wants it, it's legal. When she doesn't want it, it's illegal. And it's all up in her head. So don't get the idea that these physical things are either legal or illegal. It is all about the context and the consent. And then probably the documentation of consent.
Yes.
And your marriage vows are not documentation of consent. It's what exists in her mind. And yes, maybe some other legal signed paperwork of documentation of consent. It's not a guarantee. But if she wants it and you're willing to do it, getting it on paper does provide some context and proof that it was discussed and entered into.
Okay, Steve,
So
I have a
it's
question.
not okay. Go ahead.
I have a question. I understand what you are saying, and we've discussed this topic before behind the scenes, and it's an interesting topic. I really think it could actually work, but men need to legally protect themselves, and that kind of document that you are talking about is not it's not done after you get married. it should be done then before. If she wants that long-term security, this is by default coming as a setting, you know. So she
You
can't
can
negotiate it. She can't
you can
negotiate.
do it anytime. The man cannot impose this, but it can be done, entered into at any time. Yeah, before is better.
Yeah.
Afterwards is fine. But she has to actually consent. So,
On paper.
okay, things are out of sorts in our marriage. Let's assume they're married. Yeah, this isn't working. I'm unsatisfied. You're out of control. You deserve a spanking.
Yeah.
So, either you agree or I need to leave for my own safety. You decide.
Yeah.
Now, I know, okay, this sounds extreme.
No,
But
it's
what did Plutarch say to you,
extreme.
Elena? If you're out of line, if you step out on me, I'm out of here.
Exactly.
So you already have that. So you need to, you Christian guys especially, need to remind the wife that she is not entitled to your commitment. If she's not putting out for you, which she promised to do, how the hell does that agreement, her side, evaporate, but yet you're responsible to keep staying with her, providing with her, being her emotional tampon? Yeah, guess who's in charge? Guess who she's not going to have the tingles for?
Well, she can't have tingles for herself. I mean, she's in charge. She's the boss babe, right? She can't, come on.
No,
Yeah.
it's a form of abandonment. I mean, there's
Yeah.
ways to address it. Unfortunately, you're not going to have probably much recourse in the church, and especially in the civil courts, you won't have recourse. They'll just encourage you to get divorced anyways. The church will just shame the man and simp for the woman. So,
Oh,
you're supposed to go through the church, then the civil magistrate. We don't live in that type of society anymore.
yeah.
You have to protect yourself.
I don't
Okay,
think the
so
lawyers. I don't even think the lawyers are interested in helping anyone but themselves. Especially when we are talking about divorce lawyers. This is how they make money in the current system that exists to destroy men. Because we saw what's legal, right? The feminist bullshit crap is legal. So men get destroyed, a woman is in charge, right? And then she hates on all
yeah,
men. This is the narrative that they are pushing. And then divorce, 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 divorce. Yeah, let's take care of children. Like I was going after a couple of
okay,
lawyers today.
so
Take care of children, but you still divorce. How does it benefit children?
it doesn't, but it's a control spiral. It's a security spiral. Now think about this from the woman's standpoint. She's not restrained. She is ruling the roost. There is no restraint on her. So, since she feels insecure because of this, and she doesn't trust you to provide the boundaries and the constraint and the protection, she's feeling insecure. So, what's she going to do to lessen her insecurity feeling? She's going to try and take more control.
Yes.
And the more control she takes, the more contempt she has for you, the less secure she feels. And eventually her insecurity and contempt for you is going to rise to the point where I need to get rid of that man because he's not providing me any security. And I'm exhausted by the amount of control I have to have over him to try and have some semblance of security, but I'm still insecure. So ditch the man. This is what happens when a woman is unrestrained.
Yes. They want more power because they feel that they will get more security with that power, or they want more control over man because they feel that they falsely believe that they will get more, they will feel more secure.
A man actually can handle the responsibility, the accountability, do the problem solving. Oh, okay, we got a problem. Okay, I'll come up with a solution and we'll work through it. Yeah, there might be some hardships, or maybe I can just handle it. And then she goes, oh, okay, great. I'll trust you. And that burden is not, it's not really that heavy on him. Mm-hmm. He has broad shoulders. He's a muscular physique. He has a mental capacity to say, yeah, okay, great. Okay, well, I'll do it. If a woman is given those same things, you fix it, it just exhausts her and mentally drains her.
Mm-hmm.
And you want an unhappy woman, place greater burden on her than she's capable of bearing. And she will break under the pressure. A man, on the other hand, you place greater burden on him than he's capable of handling, he will still continue and do his best to get it done. It may shorten his life. Right, Nick?
Yep. Men press on. We keep shouldering the burden, even though it might destroy us. It's a sense of duty. So you had all these men lined up in trenches and, being ordered to lay down their lives, go into machine gun fire. Why did they do that? Did they want to be there? Probably not. But they were there. Did they probably know what might happen to them if they got out of the trench and charged across the line? Maybe. A lot of them didn't come back.
Yeah.
That's men.
So, men, what's the greatest form of love? Nick?
Oh, to lay down your life for another, as Christ did for us. Yeah.
Men, it's in our mind. We were created to do. We're actually willing to die to protect our wife and our children. Should we not have the authority, even physical? Now, I want to address this. The feminists out there, the pearl clutching church ladies are going to say, oh, it's so dangerous to give a man this authority and ability to just physically dominate a woman. Let me tell you how a man thinks. Okay, and this is one of those stories from my past. I had a female friend. Okay, well, before we go there, since 1987, my body count is 3. First wife, a little liaison, whatever, not a good idea. And my second wife, okay? So I'm not a highly promiscuous man. Yeah, before that, college days, okay, we're not going. So anyway, between the marriages, I had this female friend. She was highly intelligent, emotionally insecure, but she was a spanko. I don't know if you know the term. A woman who actually craved and needed regular spankings. Okay, so did I spank her? Yes. And bare ass? Yes, several times. But I was not stupid enough to get involved with this woman. She wasn't my responsibility.
So did
So
you stick your dick in crazy?
no, I did
No.
not. So
Wow, the amount
She
of
would-
restraint that you had
she
over
would-
yourself to spank you
Oh,
while she was naked
this
and
one
you
didn't
didn't
take.
get there.
It
Wow.
didn't take any restraint. She was a bit on the overweight side. Okay, she
Okay.
was fun to talk
That
to and
helped.
whatnot, and she was smart enough. But no, okay, I'm not going to go into the other details. But I want to tell you, when she wanted a spanking, which was at least weekly, I'm thinking, oh God, not again. It's too much work. I don't want to put
To be a
this much effort into controlling the woman. No, hell no. And if I had any romantic inclinations, no, hell no. If this is what it's required to, no. So,
Imagine all of these
ladies,
feminists who are,
if you think if a man has the ability and does this, that he's just gonna go hog wild and want to do it all the time, fuck no. It's too damn much work.
It
He
is,
doesn't want to put in that much work. It is a burden for a man to discipline his woman because he loves her. He doesn't want to have to do that. When he does it, yeah, it can be fun occasionally. But if she's such a needy woman that she needs it constantly,
yeah.
you're going to exhaust the man because
He
no.
can't do anything else. It's like all of his energy and focus, and this is kind of what they want without realizing that this is what they're actually asking for. They want a man to prioritize them, to give them all the time, attention, resources, right? So that she's the whole purpose of his existence. But then it means that he is going to spend more time like giving you that attention and spanking you, actually, and then he won't be able to do anything else.
The more she wants that, it can reveal the less control she has about her own personal life. No personal self-discipline. And it becomes a spiral.
Yes.
Oh, she does something bad or she can't control herself. Please give me a spanking.
Yeah.
And then accept me afterwards. Okay, guilt is relieved. Now I can go back and do it again. And, when I need a little reset, okay, do it again. And there's no corrective action there. So I'm saying don't get into that spiral. Most men, if you spank your woman, probably best not to do it for punishment reasons.
Yeah.
Do it for fun and just to show your dominance.
Yeah, but maybe this is what they want, actually. Like, if you look at it, that they constantly want to have fun, and it's not going to be enough either when you, like, look, 50 Shades of Grey, that movie, another 1.5 weeks, go watch them. Like, if it's just, like, sexual restraint, it's not going to be enough, even for the feminists. Like,
so, this brings up an aspect here that was kind of revealing. When I brought up the acronym that women need: restraint, to be desired and to be loved; spank, fuck, hug. So Elena said, oh, spank, that's like punishment. No, I didn't mean it that way. She brought that in there. So that's just a thing that kind of reveals that a woman desires it to be punishment.
Kind of.
Okay, is it? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
They
I'm
are
just saying
looking
the
for
man
it.
does it. The woman actually desires and views it as punishment, where the man just does it as dominance. Okay.
Well, if a
Women
man
don't
does
look
it as
at life the
dominance,
same way men do.
like, look, they need to be restrained, right? And then in the feminist mindset, they would view it as punishment anyway. Like, oh, you are restraining me, you are controlling me, right? They will view it as a power play that men does anyway, regardless of what you do, gentlemen. So yeah, it's but they need to be like, look, there is a reason why every time Donovan Sharp does the breakdown video of police officers physically restraining these crazy women who totally misbehave, they want to be punished. They actually want to have the consequences for their actions, otherwise they wouldn't have gotten themselves in trouble.
True. Now, am I going out there looking to dominate women and spank women? Hell no. Because that implies I would have authority over them. If I have authority over them, I have responsibility over them. That complicates my life. No.
This is why most men don't want to deal with women, because without that restraint, they can't have any authority over women. They can't have any
Damned if you do.
responsibility.
Look, damned if you do and damned if you
Damned if
don't.
you don't, yeah. Well, I mean, like, this is why men don't want to marry today. I can understand why, because like, yeah, you marry and then you become your slave under the current system, doing what's legal, right? Or what the feminists deem legal, and our world is run by the feminists. I mean, good luck to execute upon your natural authority that you have over a woman.
So, do you want to get in a cage with a wild cougar?
No.
No, that's like marriage today.
Exactly.
Mhm.
If you first tame that wild cougar, then you can be around it. But an unrestrained woman is kind of as dangerous as a wild cougar. You don't know what they're going to do.
It's better to avoid them.
And that's the conclusion that men have come to.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say when the pendulum swings back, there will be restraint on women, and women will seek that restraint
They are
and gladly give up autonomy and authority and independence for provision. Because
It's
when
not.
things get so out of sorts, they don't know whether to shit or wind their watch.
It's not there yet. We are not there yet. Women are not desperate enough. They still are. Some of them are virtue signaling. They're trying to fake it. They're trying to fake that submission and like come up with all sorts of strategic manipulations on how to get men to do what women want them to do. They're not there yet.
No, it's around the world. It's in Russia. It's in China. It's in the Philippines. It's in the US. It's in Canada. It's in Europe. I mean, it's in South America. It's in Mexico. I mean, this is everywhere pretty much.
Yeah.
So, Nick, this idea of restraint, okay, it doesn't have to be physical. When you dismiss a woman or show indifference or have your own opinion that's contrary to her feminist views, is she more or less attracted to you?
Usually more.
So the nice guy thing doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
You cannot be nice enough to get in a woman's pants.
No.
You cannot be nice enough to get into your wife's pants.
Nope.
So you might as well just be indifferent and show some control and say, no, not going to do that. Say no, actually withhold attention from her. Do not cater to her emotions. Do not placate or pander. No. And oh man, that's like starving a woman. If you're starving her for attention. When you don't give them attention, they just keep pestering you.
Yes, they do.
Hey,
They do.
and let another woman flirt with you in front of her face. You don't have to flirt with them. Like that restaurant, Elena.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me every single time, Nick.
Yep, you're welcome.
Yeah, now we don't go anywhere. I limited the well, I mean, it was fine, you know, it's not like yeah.
Well,
And I can't no,
food.
I don't actually, you know, like I don't blame my husband for doing it. It was just interesting to see how pre-selection works.
And how insecure it made you. And when you got more insecure, it actually bonded you closer to your husband. Again,
you are
it's kind of like a paradox.
Okay, when you are risking of losing somebody, then and the threat is there, like that other woman, I viewed her as a threat to my relationship.
But it wasn't even a real threat.
It wasn't, but it was enough. Like in my mind, it like what I felt, you know, it was enough for me to say like, no, you're like, get out of here, bitch, you know. It's mine. So like it just forces women to protect what they have, you know. If more men were willing to do what Nick is telling men to do, like don't be scared of flirting with other women.
No.
We haven't.
Allow women to flirt with you. You do not have to flirt with them.
Exactly. Right. Like,
you know what? We haven't heard the other part of the story. So let me imagine the other part of the story. When they got home, Elena was upset, but she gave him one of the best nights of his life to show him how valuable she was. Okay, I don't know if that happened or not, but
it was a while ago.
Okay, that's a typical female reaction. When she's threatened, she's going to show her worth by being very sexually generous. So why does dread game work? I think that's why. Yeah, she's going to perform to keep her position.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying anything critically or saying women shouldn't be this way. This is just how the female mind works and how the male mind works. And you have to understand this. And when I first experienced or observed some of these things, this makes no sense. Obviously, the female mind is processing information differently than me. It's not logical. Okay, but it is understandable from her emotional perceptions and the way she's made up. Don't expect her to reach the same conclusion that a man would. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Like with fun spank with punishment. See, it's true. I mean, what you guys are saying, it's all true. Yeah.
Okay, now, just to put this into context, there have been studies on female fantasies. It's like 60-70% of women have a desire to be spanked. So don't think this is a flaw and she's a bad woman because she wants this. No, it's just normal.
Yeah.
So don't make it something that it's not. It's
Yeah, I guess I
it just
conflated.
affirms a hierarchy, and
Yeah.
it leads to her security because she understands where she's at, and she's strong enough to handle me and the world.
I guess I conflated the two terms. Like punishment is more restraints on your emotions, and maybe also the like physical restraints, so that she doesn't harm herself later on, and its consequences. Like my husband took my phone away from me, for misbehavior.
Okay, here's the other aspect. Why does this work? Women do things and feel guilty about it. And then they try and dismiss the guilt, but they still feel the guilt. So if they're punished for doing it, okay, they paid the price. They don't have to feel guilty anymore. And then all the better if after that you fuck her. Oh, you still desire her. Okay, yeah, great. And then you hug her. You still love her. Oh, okay. Life is wonderful. I got rid of my guilt. He still desires me and he loves me. What could be better than that?
Yeah.
So a man doesn't necessarily do it to punish her. He might do it just to show his dominance. But she mentally processes this as punishment because that is a benefit to her to relieve her of her guilty feelings. Because women are very insecure. They walk around with a lot of internal guilt. And then
But they
they
act
try
like
and
they are secure though. But they act like
yes,
they're secure,
and then
but they're not.
then they talk to other women around the edges about, I'm feeling this way. Oh, that's okay. And other women try and soothe their feelings and say, you're okay, blah, blah, blah. But it never addresses, she never has to pay the penalty. So she still carries the guilt. And so women know that other women are lying and it's all a facade and fake. So she comes home, he spanks her, he fucks her, he hugs her. Oh, okay. World is good again. Whereas she goes talk to her female friends, they're going to fire her up by placating and pandering and lying to her, and then they'll go talk behind her back.
And then they would say, they would tell her not to expect any that word punishment, or not to expect any penance for her wrongdoing. So what does the sisterhood do? No matter what you do, it's all great, lady, right? You deserve the princess treatment. Doesn't matter the evil things that you do or the wrong things. He's not supposed to restrain you. He's not supposed to punish you. You're not supposed to pay his penance. Your penance. Avoid accountability at all costs.
Yeah, there's videos about women running away from accountability. They're kind of funny on the internet that you can find.
Now, okay, we do have to address this. There are some men who take it too far, who are truly abusive.
Right.
I would put the percentage of those, I don't know, 5%, 10%, 15%. It's probably not 15. It's probably less than 10. Yes, you can. I mean, those men exist.
I mean, where they
The
actually
vast majority of them are not that way.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a certain number of narcissists and sadists and what's the other word? Psychopaths.
Psychopaths, yeah.
But if a man is not that way, and the majority of men aren't, this really isn't something to be feared. Don't let your fears of entering into the proper hierarchical relationship, don't let your inexperience, you've not had no experience doing this. Oh, if he did that, oh, where could it lead? You know what? Probably nowhere. In the majority of places, it's not going to lead to bad results if you let your if you submit to your man and allow him to take the lead. And you know what? If you're out of sorts, a spanking might just kind of calm you down, and you go, oh, okay, man, hurts a little bit when I sit down, but I'm good.
Well, but then allowing him to be a man, it's like, I think it's still operating under that feminist mindset that she's the one in charge, giving him permission to behave that way. You know what I mean? Like, I hear
Yeah.
this language a lot. It's not. I understand your point, Steve. It's just like telling women, like, allow your man to be a man. It assumes her frame. She's still in charge, presiding, and she decides to, okay, now I let him lead, but I want him to lead me to where I want to go.
Right. Okay. So, guys,
Yep.
don't worry about whether she allows you. It's your position to take.
Just take it.
Okay. If she
Mhm.
allows it, great. If she wants it, great. But you need to take it and assert it.
Yes.
And if you don't do it early in the relationship, you're fucked.
Yes.
Yep.
You have to do it early, so you're training your wife or woman to accept this dynamic. If you've established a dynamic that's completely out of the norm, out of the hierarchical norm, and you want to fix it later,
Good luck to you.
I've never seen it done. I've never seen it done. You started off early, okay, it has a chance. And if she won't conform to this relationship early on, she gets the boot.
Yeah.
Because she's not capable of being a good woman for you. And if she won't get in line and follow your lead, find another woman.
Yeah.
But you got to do this in the beginning, because once she asserts control, remember, it then goes into the control spiral. She's insecure because you're not dominant, and she will assert more and more control to feel secure until she develops contempt for you, and it's all over. And during the process, you're not getting any sex.
Yes. Forget about sex. Yeah.
Right, Nick? I mean, you kind of
Yeah,
live
true,
this
Butler.
dynamic. I mean,
I was
were
always
you assertive?
hierarchical. I was assertive, but every time I was assertive, guess what happened?
Were you assertive
Early enough.
early enough?
Early enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. I was
Okay.
assertive, not. I allowed a lot of crap I shouldn't have allowed, but I was assertive about certain things.
Okay. Now,
She can still rebel. She has agency.
No. But the problem is when I was assertive, when it really mattered, right? What happened? I got beat. She withheld sex, right? Oh, then she complained to the church elders that I'm this terrible, mean, you're supposed to love your wife, and just because you're the head doesn't mean that you get to tell her what to do, right?
Yeah.
But apparently the church can tell me what to do, and she can tell me what to do.
Yeah. Through church, through women use institutes to manipulate men to do what they want men to do. Yeah.
In most cases, here's here's the dynamic. Nick went in thinking she could be more trusted than she was. She could be more managed, self-managed than she was, and only stepped up to do this in crisis situations rather than a way of life and maintaining vigilance. And there's probably a failure of proper vetting in the beginning.
Oh yeah, I
Mhm.
didn't know anything.
And she was more than was capable of being managed by any man.
Yep.
And he didn't have the mindset to do it well enough, and he didn't have the knowledge to vet her properly, or he wouldn't have married her in the beginning.
Would not have married her.
And so, I'm not trashing on Nick. I'm just saying this because,
It is what it
hey,
is.
it's my story too.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And I'm trying to help out younger men to
Yeah.
understand this. And actually, any women who are watching, okay, the dominant men, hey, they're the guys, they're the bad boys that you're going after anyway. They're the guys that you drop your panties for anyway.
Exactly. What's your problem?
And they're not staying with you long term. So now you try and manipulate a nice guy into being your husband. But he really gives you the tingles that bad boy did.
Well,
You
then
know what?
they
A
also
nice
try to
guy needs to
manipulate.
learn how to spank you.
They also try to manipulate the bad boys into husband material. They try to beta test every modern movie. They show you an alpha dude at the beginning, and then she subverts him into some beta simp at the end. This is the feminist ideal. You don't actually, in the feminist mindset, you don't take the nice guy. Well, you take them for what they are worth. You take them to the cleaners, right? You take their resources because you would be stupid if you didn't. But I'm not saying it's good. Okay, it is what it is. But in the movies, what do we see? It's the feminist ideal. They take the bad boys, they convert them into the nice guy. They don't want the nice guy to begin with.
That's called the betadization by 1,000
Exactly.
concessions. Yeah.
Dr. Orion Turban just did a video on kind of aspects of sexuality, and he touched on the Madonna horror complex. Whatever you want to call that. And kind of the struggle to have different roles or aspects come out in different scenarios. So, yes, you want a good woman who's prim and proper and well behaved in the outside world and reserved and, doing the right thing. But if you think that dynamic should exist in your bedroom when she has her clothes off, you're probably not giving the woman what she needs. Another way of saying this, if she's the boss babe in the outside world, don't assume that she wants to be the boss babe in the bedroom when her clothes are off. The man needs to be assertive and push the boundaries, or, okay, if she's reserved in outside life, that doesn't mean she needs to be reserved in the bedroom. She might be adventurous in the bedroom, or she might want to be. But if she wants to be, and you don't lead her there, then she won't. She'll be afraid to express that. So I think the pickup artist said this, you're always better off being bold. than reserved. Because you know what? If you're standing back in the corner, you're not meeting any women. If you go put yourself out there, yeah, she can say no, but you can have conversations, you can meet women, you can, okay, so action, leadership, putting yourself at risk is always the right move for a man, even in his marriage with his wife, especially when they're both naked in the bedroom.
I have a question. Are boss babes wife material to begin with?
No,
Then why should men put out all of the risk? Like, what do men get out of this?
it's
Like
called
trying to
box.
restrain a boss babe.
It's called box.
Oh, okay. GPS. I
Okay,
Companionship and box. There's two
uh
things that they get.
Okay.
you're saying
Companionship,
what
she will
should be.
make him, right? She will make him. That's kind of the companionship, and then box. Okay.
Who cares? It's immaterial. What should be? There's a lot of boss babes out there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them look pretty fine. There's a lot of men out there. A lot of these boss babes want sex, or they want a relationship. Are you going to give her the relationship on her terms or your terms? Just because she's a boss babe in the outside world, assuming you have a relationship with this woman, does not mean she wants to be the boss babe in the bedroom. Now, should you go for a woman like that? I would say no. But do men do that? Yes. I mean, it happens. So,
I
should
see
I
a lot of
withhold my
Steve,
advice for those men who still do it anyway?
I see a lot of women, boss babe type women, whining on the internet, saying that they're still single and they can't find a good man, which is a good sign. I mean, like if I were a man, I wouldn't want to deal with a controlling boss babe, honestly. Okay, she might submit to me during sex. Okay, yes, we are going to have a rough, tough, whatever, like have a lot of fun there. But then everything else in that relationship, either for pump and dump purposes only. Seriously, guys, I'm not kidding you. Or like stay out of it, because she will fight you on every single hill, even though they say like, I will be a cutie, in the house. I'm just a boss babe
Look,
out there
Elena,
in my business.
Elena.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'll probably do that, but what'd be even worse is being duped by a tradcon woman, LARPing, acting like she wants to be the submissive, stay-at-home mom.
Yeah,
She'll
true.
do the same thing. She'll do the same thing, chances are.
Exactly. Yeah.
The solution for men is the same. Whatever woman you meet, tell her no. No.
Yeah.
And you got to be slow in responding, especially at the beginning. Don't just say, I met this woman, we're texting back and forth in daily contact. You've already given up some semblance of commitment. Don't do that. You got to withhold some of that affection. Okay, I haven't been good at that, but withhold that. Don't get sucked in. And keep telling her, no, I'm not doing that. Do not compromise for her feelings or what she wants. And especially boss babes probably need to be told, no, I'm not doing that. And then, she gets upset and she says, I'm done with you.
Great, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great. You avoided a big problem there.
Mm-hmm. I actually, every time I used to, every time I see women whining, being single on social media, I'm like, yes, that's actually great, because the more women are whining and complaining that they are single on social media, it's a great sign. It means that men are actually saying no to their bullshit. Men are waking up. Men are not buying into their manipulations. It's more men's lives saved the more we see women whining and complaining on the internet. Where are all these good men? Don't tell them to stop. Like, no, they, like it's good.
Yeah, I know the answer to this, but I'll still ask it of Elena. When you see a woman who's just out of control in public with her man, don't you sometimes think, damn, that woman really needs a spanking?
Yes, I do. In fact, most of them
And,
need
and
spanking.
do you think other women are not saying that, even if they're feminists? Oh man, that woman is out of
But
control.
but the
She
problem, if she's already
needs
doing that, if she's already showing that much contempt, he better not do it. Because then it really will bite you in
exactly.
the ass.
I agree with that. Because she's already shown that she has no restraint, which implies that he has not been restraining her. She won't accept that level of constraint or restraint. So she's a bad bet for a future relationship.
Most of them are. Most of them. It's like this is what I keep saying to men and even women. Most women, they are not wife material. They are only for recreational purposes. They have the mindset of a public whore. They would much rather whore around on social media than actually be loyal and committed to their husband. They will do all of those things uh, publicly, for attention, for clout, for their independence. Because how do they get paid? Well, it's through clout, through money, through all of these advertising campaigns that they're doing, right? It's still independence. It leads them to their own money, right? And then they don't need a man to survive.
Right. So this seems like a really controversial subject to most Christians out there. But let me ask you, if you've gotten this far in the video, have we said anything that is highly offensive here, or anything that's anti-Christian? Should you really be offended? Or should we actually be willing to talk about these aspects of human interaction,
Now,
male-female interaction?
Steve, the ones that are offended is because they believe women are these pure little angels that would never have any of these fantasies or thoughts. They are such pure born again virgins.
Single mom is second virgin, right? It's
Yeah.
so true. And Nick, to add to your point, and it's to women's feminist benefit to convince men in that idea that women are all angelic. They don't have these naughty thoughts and desires, right? Because then if they make men into slaves, they will get what they feel they want at the
Okay,
moment.
who was the first person to have naughty thoughts in the Bible? Was it a man or was it a woman?
I would. Uh, I'm not a Bible expert, but I would say it's a woman.
Eve.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Because she
Who
wanted.
is the first person not to be vigilant enough to restrain his woman? Come on, Nick. It was Adam.
He wasn't vigilant enough to restrain his woman.
He wasn't vigilant enough. Who was the first
Oh,
man to not be vigilant
Do
enough?
not
I
be
thought you said who
vigilant.
was
Who
vigilant enough.
was
I'm like, well,
vigilant?
No.
who
Yeah.
was vigilant?
Oh, there was no. Okay, so Adam needed to be more vigilant. And even though Eve at the time was sinless, she still had the tendencies. She still needed more restraint than he gave her. So, what's that? What's the lesson from that? You know what? You're probably probability speaking, you're better off erring towards restraining women more rather than less.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to have to say, holy shit, that's just too much energy. I don't want to do that much. That's too much work. Okay, I understand it. That's for women. Keep in mind, that's the control over a man not wanting to take it too far, because it's a hell of a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It is, especially
That's
in the
why
modern
it's called
state.
work and vigilance. Vigilance is work. It takes constant effort. You can't find the ready-made woman,
Yeah.
wife her up, and say, oh, okay, I'm good, I can relax. No, it doesn't work that way.
Exactly. And the amount of restraint, and this is what I keep saying over and over again, and I'll say it again, the amount of restraint that modern women need today, it's a lot. And it's illegal. It's deemed illegal. So, gentlemen, you're taking a lot of risk. And it's like, look, I wouldn't blame men. In fact, I would actually support men if they wanted nothing to do with modern women today, and just watch porn and not like stay out of long-term relationships if you can help it.
But your risk of not restraining her is probably higher than your risk of restraining her. Okay, so let's go to the extreme here. So you meet a woman and you're very controlling, physically, spank her, do all that stuff, and she files charges against you. Okay, let's assume it didn't go really violent, okay, because I'm not going there. She makes charges against you. You're charged with something. You got to go to court. Okay, it's a misdemeanor. Yeah, you got to pay a fine. It's a big deal. Yeah, you got to pay some money. Okay, that sucks. Oh, so you wouldn't want to do that. Maybe you do. Because if you didn't do that and you marry that woman
and you have kids,
and 10 years go by and you have 3 kids, and then she divorces you, you're giving her half of everything. You're paying child support on those 3 kids for the next 18 years.
Yeah.
Oh, now they're going to garnish your wages. You can lose your passport. Oh, she files a restraint order against you. You lose your right to bear arms, and you're going to pay alimony, and you lost a lot of your stuff. Plus, you probably can't see your children. So now, which is the riskier approach? To do more in the beginning, yeah, okay, there's a risk there.
Yeah, it's like
to go along with her and then just be railroaded in the end.
It's like a lesson. Learn your lesson sooner rather than
and pay the price up front.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you meet a woman, you show this kind of dominant behavior, and she doesn't like it. Okay, yeah, there is a legal risk to you.
Yeah.
It's not as great as if you didn't show the restraint and you end up in a bad situation down the road.
Or just wait until women become very, very, very desperate, and then
great. You know what?
Guarantees. There's no guarantees. It probably
can
will
take a long time.
But how long will it take? We don't know. But
yeah,
that's
you know what
you're thinking. What ought to be, what could be, and we're trying to do. Steve is saying this is what is.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the biggest pursuit of men in the world?
To procreate,
have family and kids.
Family, yeah.
No. It's pussy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pure and simple.
Okay.
Men desire it. if you're young and 20, what do you want, pussy? They will be out seeking it. Okay, nothing you can tell them. Oh, she's a bad woman. Yeah, I know, but she's hot and she spread her legs, so I can do it.
Steve, do you think then that they will take into account anything that we say if they are allowing the little head to take all of the decisions? It doesn't, like, you can't save them from themselves.
No, you can't, and they're going to pursue it. So I'm saying, okay, you're better off not, but I know you're going to do it. So do it from a point of dominance. And don't be afraid to be dominant at the beginning in spite of any consequences there, because you don't want to be a simp.
A simp in a relation.
And be taken to the cleaners later. Even to the point. Okay, I'm going to take it to an even greater extreme. Even to the point of serving a year in jail in your early 20s. Because the pain of being taken to the cleaners, and especially not having access to your children and not being able to raise your children, is so much greater.
Yes.
Yep. It really is. You're robbed of what you care for most in this world. At the vain imagination of a wild cougar.
Well said. Yeah. Yeah. These are great recommendations for young men. I mean, learn your lessons, pay the cheaper price for it to figure out what women are, and then don't commit to them. Don't give them that long-term commitment and security that they are basically demanding for free.
Don't be timid. Be assertive. Don't be a male feminist. It's disaster. It really is, because if you're a male feminist, she's going to have contempt for you. If she doesn't have that, she's certainly not going to have the tingles for you. And all those, by being the nice guy, thinking you're going to get something, you're not. She's falling for the bad boys out there. Well, you're trying to be nice enough to cajole yourself into her panties. It's not going to work.
What would you say about the I have I don't think I have a clear understanding of what male feminist is, because I see also a lot of content creators, especially female content creators now, saying to men, oh, you deserve. Basically what they do, they just run the same script that women run on women. They just change it for men.
A male feminist is a man who agrees with feminism.
Okay.
He's an ally, you could say.
He's a man who acts like a woman. When women tell their troubles to another woman, the woman doesn't want to hurt her feelings. So he it's called respond with placate and pander. Oh, yes, I understand. Oh, yes, you're so right. Then she talks behind her back. If you try, as a man, if you try to understand and soothe and understand it and just go along with her feelings, you're being a male feminist.
Well, but it's also the target audience that a lot of virtue signaling and LARPing women for clout are appealing to.
Right.
It's the male target audience where they say, man, you deserve this. You deserve basically the same kind of prince treatment. Let's call it prince treatment, right?
So what
You are
What
the
should a
best.
man do?
You are, perfect the way you are.
Just say, no, I don't care about that. That's silly. Really? No, I'm not caring about that. You're wrong. And then leave.
Yeah.
Guess what? She's not going to be soothed by that. You're not playing into her frame. You have your own frame. She can leave. She can not talk to you ever again. Fine. You've not lost anything because if that's the case, she never had the tingles for you in the beginning. Tell her no. I'm not buying in. I'm not playing into your emotions. No.
Yeah.
Or just say, suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah. Fake Human says, marketing and sales never rest. That's so true. This virtue signaling chicks that I'm talking about on social media who are pandering to male feminists, who are saying, oh man, you are just perfect, you deserve this perfect treatment. Essentially the same message that women have been exposed to for multiple generations now. They are pushing that same kind of narrative to men to please the desperate men.
It doesn't work. It's what they say, but in reality is they're just not. It's not. They're not going to get any.
Yeah.
Hey, they might get attention.
Oh, they do get a lot of attention. Like the girls who
But
do
they're
that, yeah, they get a
well, the
lot of
guys
attention.
that agree with them and do all that might get some attention,
Yeah.
but it's not the attention the guys actually want.
Yeah.
You're just included in. You're given like a participation trophy to be involved in the girls' chatting club, but they still know you're not one of them.
Participation. That's a trophy in girls' club. I'm writing it down, Nick.
They still won't. They still won't drop the panties for them, though. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I just thought of something. We have the MGTOWs that just don't want to deal with this. So they men going their own way. Oh, okay, let's recruit some of those to be assertive. Let's form a new acronym. We'll call it Men Triggering Women.
Ah.
So, while you're going your own way, how about you go out of the way to just say things that just trigger women?
I think that's what they
Doing
actually
that.
do, no?
So fun. It's fun doing that, though.
I
No,
think
but Nick
some
is
of them,
already doing it.
yeah, some of the
And
MGTOWs,
then,
they
and
already
then, he has so much fun with it, and the women don't leave him alone. So he gets to keep triggering them, but they don't go away.
Well, because they want to be triggered. It's a brain stimulation for them. They don't get it from the
It's not
nice
just
guys.
brain stimulation.
Well, I know. Yeah, they want to be triggered. This is how they. Um, yeah, they also have tingles for these guys who trigger them. So yeah. And I mean, Joker from Better Bachelor, he kind of does it too, Men in the MGTOW, there are different factions of MGTOW, I would say. Some guys are triggering women by calling them out, and sorry, my dog is making. Indy, come on, call it. Oh, silly dog. Yes, some guys they they do it, and women like it.
Well, they pretend they don't, but they respond to it.
Hmm. They want to be triggered because it's the only stimulation that they get. They don't get it from the nice guys. Nice guys are too nice to do it to them. You see?
Well, have we done a good job with this topic?
I
Have we
think so.
gone and talked about things that no one else is talking about
I think so.
in the red pill to understand the motivations of women
Hmm.
and why this works?
Yeah, definitely. So, what do you think about the formulas? Did you like them? Shall I post them?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Just say, okay, this is a theory. You're just writing.
Hmm.
We're exploring this topic. Yes, it's going to evolve. It's going to be corrected. You're looking for comments. We're furthering the discussion. It doesn't mean you have to be right about everything. I mean, I say things that it's my observation at this time, my belief at this time, could be corrected in the future. But this is how knowledge and understanding evolves.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Then I'll write another article. I'll include these formulas, and yeah, we'll see.
So, next week,
Hmm.
what's the topic next week?
It's up to you guys. We can.
No, it's not. You said at the beginning. This is a multi-part series.
Yeah. Well, yes, yes. It's a
We were
multi-part
doing
series. We were doing
spank,
security.
fuck, hug.
Yes.
Security, desire, love.
Love. Okay. Hmm.
So, next week, the topic is fuck. Okay.
Oh, yes.
It's
Let's do it.
actually desire.
Mhm.
She wants to be physically desired.
Yes. The second part of that. Let
Okay,
me.
so,
Mhm.
okay, to outline this, Christians have said, well, oh
Mhm.
no, she should not be the subject of physical desire. She should be the object of love. She exists to be loved. She's an object, not a subject. She's greater. Okay, great. You're wrong.
Well,
It's
if it was.
not an and.
Mhm.
It's not an or, it's an and. You need to objectify this woman sexually. She craves it. But she also craves and needs love, objective love. So it's a both thing. So we're going to, next week, I want to talk about desire and the sexual objectification of women as a good thing.
Okay. I'm writing down. Is good. Awesome. Yeah, we'll talk about the second part of the formula. I just wanted to show it to the guys again. This is the formula that we are working on. So today we've covered the security, what gives women the security. And next week we are going to talk about the sexual desire. Okay, and then let me remove it. Anyway, guys, very interesting conversation today. I really enjoyed it. I love talking about security and spanking. This is what women need. I love talking about restraint. It does give women. I take it for granted because my dad actually he was restraining me and my sister. This is why we probably are not divorced out there. Could be always.
Ironically, when
Yeah.
a woman receives this, she kind of blossoms and becomes more capable in the lighter world and just more content in life.
Mhm.
And a lot of women desire this, at least 60 to 70% actually have this as a fantasy. Why is it a fantasy? Lots of times because they don't have it in real life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of women today, especially who are being raised by single mothers or presiding single mothers in the family, they are not going to experience this healthy dynamics with their fathers first and then with their husbands. So yeah, definitely go read my articles, guys. We are going to show you the schedule that we have here. Join us for interesting controversial discussions on Saturdays at 9:15 a.m. Pacific with the Resurgence of Sanity guys, and then join me for regular workouts from Mondays to Fridays and Sundays at 9:15 a.m. Pacific. And on Sundays, join me for the crazy piano practice. I'm not a professional pianist. You can request some songs for me to work on during that live stream. Sometimes I run the second live stream on Thursdays in the afternoon. And then please go subscribe to the Resurgence of Sanity YouTube channel. On Wednesdays at 5:45 p.m. Pacific, they are talking about very interesting topics. What's the topic for this week?
Oh, I'm probably gonna pull up some old school theologian and church guy and like show how he viewed men and women.
Nice. Wow.
Haven't decided who yet, so
That would
somebody
be
probably old.
interesting. Yeah. Awesome. I'm looking forward to that live stream, guys. So please go subscribe to the Resurgence of Sanity YouTube channel, watch their live streams, and here is my cross-training fitness program on Udemy. If you want to dive in deeper into fitness safety, anatomy, we are talking about various fitness formats, how you can cross-train. We are talking about healthy diet. All of this information can benefit you and help you to get the best results out of your fitness practice. Then there are more classes for you on my Patreon. There are some gym workouts there and community workouts with other yoga instructors as well. And then please subscribe to my Substack. I do share some ideas and summaries of our conversations here with the Resurgence of Sanity guys on my Substack. Okay. So yeah, I think we are done here. Thank you so much for those of you who joined us, Fake Human and Charlotte Nightstar. Great to see you. It's been a while. Who else was here? Oh, Shiv. I think I saw a comment by Shiv. Guys, yeah, thank you for joining us today. Tell us what you think about this topic. It's a very controversial topic. If you agree with us, tell us why. If you disagree, also tell us why. And yeah, if you'd like to debate us, reach out, okay? Or if you just would like to have an interesting conversation.
Oh, can I make a closing?
Sure, go for it.
What's the difference between creepy and scary?
Creepy and scary. Well, I would say creepy gives you an ick. Like, I don't know. Are you asking like from female standpoint?
Yes.
Okay. I never thought of that actually.
Okay, so women label men this way. He's creepy, which means he gives her the ick.
Ick, yeah.
It means that he's the nice guy. He's just no way in hell.
Mm-hmm.
He's scary.
Mm.
That's not so bad.
It's not,
if you're the scary guy, that doesn't mean she won't be attracted to you. Because she's keeping open the option to be attracted. So you're better off being scary. Don't be creepy.
That's a great conclusion, Steve. I love it. Yes, scary. You want to be a little scared of him, actually. This is something that gives you the tingles for him,
Well,
because you know that he is capable of...
hybristophilia.
Exactly. Only women are hybristophiles, and this is so true. That's awesome, Steve. I'm so going to include it into my next article. Okay. Yeah, I'm writing it down. Yeah. Don't be creepy, be scary. Women are actually attracted to scary.
I don't know. Some women, maybe
Some
not all.
women. Yeah. Well, and it's not like
It
necessarily...
depends on what do they mean by scary. So
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
some
Exactly. What I'm saying is creepy is the kiss of death.
yeah.
Scary, your options are open.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
She may determine that you're scary enough, but not that scary. So okay, he's okay.
You are scary enough.
Once you're in the category of creepy, you cannot get out of that category.
You
No
can't
matter what you do, you've been deemed creepy.
Yeah.
And you're never going to get out of that with that woman.
It's a death sentence, I would say.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a great way to put it. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are concluding our today's session. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Nick. Great conversation. I really enjoy talking to you guys. I'll try to join you as soon as I can on Wednesday. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun on Wednesday. Yeah, take care, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you all next time. Okay, bye.
Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre, the best place on the internet, the very best by far.